You're going to hear a lot from me tonight about weakness. Weakness from governments and authorities is exactly what we don't need, but it's exactly what we're getting in this country and beyond. When it comes to your life, your family, your country, your security and your economic future, what you need is strength from governments, but all around us are feeble efforts from politicians and authorities more intent on being politically correct or woke or just being loved. They're weak. Let's start with the sickening confirmation that your hard-earned tax dollars for years have been going to an organisation whose staff took part in the worst terrorist atrocity since 9/11. I'm talking, of course, about the October the 7th massacre in southern Israel, when hundreds of Hamas terrorists crossed from Gaza into Israel on a murder, rape, torture, mutilation and kidnapping spree that killed more than 1,200 men, women and children. More than 100 hostages are still unaccounted for as the war this terrorist atrocity triggered rages on. Back in January, we told you about claims that a dozen or more staff from the United Nations Palestinian Aid Agency, UNRWA, actually took part in these murderous raids. Over the years, Australian taxpayers have tipped in tens of millions of dollars to UNRWA. And while the Anthony Albanese Labor government paused that funding in January when the claims about terrorist involvement were first raised, just a few months later, Labor restored the funding.
The Australian Government is now finalising an updated funding agreement that will include stringent conditions such as guarantees of staff neutrality and confidence in supply chains. On that basis, and after consideration by the National Security Committee this week, Australia is unpausing our contribution to UNRWA.
Yeah, just some more guarantees, hey? So keen to appeal to the pro-Palestinian lobby, the anti-Israel lobby, that they restored the funding. Yet today there's been confirmation that the United Nations has sacked 9 UNRWA staff because of evidence they were involved in the October the 7th atrocities. What a disgrace.
It's obviously a very significant revelation and not one that will come as a surprise to many people. It should cause the Albanese government to reconsider their involvement, their engagement, their funding of UNRWA. It's completely and utterly unacceptable that a UN agency would have employees involved in or alleged to have been involved in the October 7 tragedy.
Absolutely. Stop the funding. For decades, there have been claims that UNRWA funding has helped indoctrinate children as Islamist extremists, when UNRWA's own staff have been involved in the slaughter of innocent Israelis. Surely any self-respecting country would stop this obscene misuse of taxpayers' money. But our Prime Minister, well, he's showing his characteristic weakness.
Well, they've taken action, that's the point. UNRWA does vital work. We resumed funding on the basis of the strong steps that had been taken to ensure that there was integrity in UNRWA operations.
Really? They always said there was integrity in their operations. They never admitted to supporting Hamas and Islamist extremism. Yet now Labor believes them again and sends them our money. This is appalling. What the Palestinian people most need is the elimination of Hamas. But Australia will continue to give money to a UN organisation that has run with Hamas. This is weakness, dangerous weakness.